Last week, the Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel took a trip. He went out west for a two-day tour of our nation's nuclear arms installations. He stopped in New Mexico to check on a nuclear weapons vault. He also got to visit his home state of Nebraska, where he visited a missile launch control center, making him the first defense secretary in 30 years to venture down 60 feet below ground into one of the totally enclosed capsules from which America's military missileers can launch our nation's giant intercontinental nuclear missiles. Secretary Hagel also went to Cheyenne, Wyoming on Thursday to the F.E. Warren Air Force Base there. He visited with the men and women whose job it is to guard and maintain the 150 nuclear missiles and nuclear warheads that we have stockpiled at F.E. Warren. Secretary Hagel was primarily there to give the officers a pep talk, to deliver a morale-boosting speech to a division of the Air Force that really has been lacking in morale for quite some time. There have been a series of high-profile firings of top nuclear division commanders. The last few years have seen a series of disastrous inspections about safety and whether our nuclear weapons handling forces can actually do the jobs they're assigned to do. And so Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel went to Wyoming to give a "you're important" pep talk. We need you to be great pep talk. You're appreciated, you guys. But just as the Defense Secretary was headed up to the podium to give that pep talk, he got word that two officers from a neighboring base had just been removed from duty over drug charges. And these were not just two run-of-the-mill Air Force officers, they were two launch officers. Nuclear missile launch officers. Two of the officers who work shifts 60 feet underground in charge of 10 nukes each, and each of those 10 nukes, each of those missiles has 3 nuclear warheads on top. Giant, world-altering missiles that are on 24-hour alert, ready to go at a moment's notice. Two officers with their fingers on the actual and not proverbial button, being hauled in over alleged possession of drugs. The day before that announcement, the general in charge of that unit was put up for a promotion, and he put out a statement saying that since he had been commander there, his unit had been, quote, firing on all cylinders. Everything's been great, other than the alleged drug ring among the nuclear missile operators, of course. So it was Thursday that Defense Secretary Hagel got the word about the two nuclear weapons launch officers facing drug charges. The following day, on Friday, the drug investigation expanded to include not 2, but 10 nuclear launch officers at multiple bases, both here and abroad, including at F.E. Warren, which is the base where Secretary Hagel was there to give the Keep Up the Good Work speech. Then the Air Force had to announce today that it's up to 11 officers who are being investigated as part of the drug ring. The drugs in question reportedly include ecstasy and synthetic pot, which I'm too much of an old person to even understand. But the reason we got an updated statement on this from the Air Force today is because it's not just a drugs ring investigation anymore. While investigating the drug problem at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, which is one of the 3 bases that guard and maintain our stockpile of nuclear weapons in the Air Force, Air Force officials also say they stumbled upon what they're calling evidence that dozens of officers at that base, all of the rank of captain or lieutenant, dozens of officers have been cheating on their certification exams. These are the tests that the launch officers are required to take monthly to ensure their ability to do their job. Their job, taking care of nuclear weapons. Some of the officers were caught sharing answers via text message while they were taking their exams. In all, 34 officers have reportedly been implicated. 34. Those 34 officers have had their security clearances immediately suspended, and they have been stripped of their nuclear certification pending the results of the investigation. But at a press conference today, the Air Force Chief of Staff attempted to reassure the public that the security of our nation's 450 nuclear-tipped intercontinental ballistic missiles is, quote, not threatened at all. He said, quote, this is not about the compromise of nuclear weapons. It is about compromise of the integrity of some of our airmen. To be clear, though, the compromised airmen allegedly involved here are the ones who handle nuclear weapons. The Air Force says that they are now retesting all of the officers involved in the cheating ring. Fingers crossed that they all pass without having the answers fed to them. If they don't, though, don't stress. What could possibly go wrong?